The Genius Club with Prairie Pine. Chapter 39. Ice Crystals. The next page. Dr. Bill Michelson explained how to solve the problem of ice crystal formation in intracellular fluids at low temperature. The solution was exactly the high oxygen soluble liquid mentioned online that had earned him the title of Father of Hibernation. The molecular components in this liquid would enter the blood circulation through the human respiratory system, penetrate into the cells, and combine deeply with water molecules. Even in an ultra-low temperature environment of -200 degrees Celsius, the combined water molecules could still remain in a liquid state, causing cell activity to drop sharply at low temperatures. It was this chemical molecule that perfectly solved the ice crystal problem and marked a crucial breakthrough in the field of hibernation. Impressive, really impressive, Alex muttered. Up to this point, he could still barely understand what he was reading. He turned the page again. At the beginning of the next page, Dr. Bill Michelson wrote, "Solving the ice crystal problem brings us closer to developing the hibernation chamber filling liquid. But we still have a long way to go before the entire hibernation chamber is successfully developed." No wonder Ethan Hughes said that the hibernation chamber, a technological product capable of changing the world pattern, can never be completed independently by a single country or a single research institute. Alex thought to himself. Only when the whole world works together and invests enormous manpower and material resources can we possibly achieve a breakthrough in more than 10 or even decades. Alex rested his chin on his hand and looked out the window. Scientific development did not happen overnight. It was a process that required long-term accumulation and precipitation. Moreover, there was no shortage of possibilities of taking wrong paths or straying in technological development. The dream world has seen no technological development for 600 years. Could it be that their technological development has strayed? Alex had no way of knowing. After about 2 hours, Alex finally locked in the key scope of the hibernation chamber, filling liquid preparation process. In fact, he could no longer understand the content here at all. It was too profound and elusive. Clearly, he recognized every word, but when combined, they were like a book written in a foreign language he couldn't comprehend. However, Alex had never planned to understand it in the first place. He just needed to scan and copy it with his eyes, then paste and replicate it as accurately as possible when he woke up in reality. As for how much Ethan Hughes can understand, that's up to him. Sorry for his incompetence, an underachieving student could only do this much. Alex kept memorizing the book in the library until 6 o'clock, when the library staff started urging people to leave, reminding them that it was closing time. Taking advantage of the librarian's inattention, Alex tucked the book into his clothes and secretly took it out. Then he found a milk tea shop where he could sit and continued to study through the night. The last time he had worked so hard was on the eve of his art exam when he was practicing sketching. He had also drawn in this milk tea shop, not even resting in his dreams. 12:42 a.m. The familiar white light arrived on time, and Alex opened his eyes in his bedroom. While his memory was still fresh, he quickly copied down the theories, formulas, chemical equations, and other things he had memorized in his mind onto draft paper. Over the next 4 days, Alex repeated the same routine, constantly transferring the key content from the book analysis and outlook on hibernation technology in his dreams to reality bit by bit. This was not an easy task for Alex at all. As a liberal arts student, he had a very weak foundation in physics and chemistry. Therefore, he couldn't understand many of the chemical equations, reaction formulas, and compound formulas in the book at all. He could only draw them by copying, just like tracing a model. In contrast, transferring the written descriptions was much simpler. 4 days later, in the morning. Okay, this should be enough. Alex sorted out the papers. There were more than 20 handwritten manuscripts in total, all the fruits of his labor that he had memorized and copied down from his dreams. He wasn't sure if he had copied everything correctly. After all, with such a huge workload, it was inevitable to make a mistake in some details. But he believed that a professional like Ethan Hughes would definitely gain a lot of inspiration from them. There's no time to waste. I'll send these to Ethan Hughes right now. Alex bound the more than 20 manuscripts together, then took them and went downstairs to take a taxi, heading straight for the university town. In the 6 months since graduation, Alex had only returned to his alma mater once. This was the second time. The last time he came was in September, to ask his counselor for his file. Alex remembered that the freshmen were holding their military training opening ceremony at that time, and he had even stopped to watch the excitement for a while. "Young man, we're here." The taxi driver stopped the car opposite the gate of EC University. After getting off the car, Alex looked toward the school gate. There were actually 3 very high-end black cars parked there, with 2 black-clad bodyguards wearing sunglasses standing beside each car. What's going on here? Are they filming a movie? Alex didn't approach. He stood on the sidewalk across the road. Of the 3 cars, there was a large black Lexus SUV at the front and rear, both looking extremely high-end. And the luxury car in the middle was even more heavyweight. It was a pure black Maybach. Although Alex didn't know the specific model or configuration, Maybach was such a magical car brand. You couldn't judge it by its appearance. The more simple and understated you thought it was, the more noble and luxurious it actually was, and the upper limit of this car was unimaginably high. Was this some rich young master coming to school? Why was he making such a big fuss? Just as Alex was wondering, the rear left door of the Maybach opened. A tall, robust, middle-aged man with sharp eyes got out of the car and straightened his clothes. Alex recognized him. Wasn't this Derek, the chairman of the East City Chamber of Commerce, who he had met at the dinner party earlier, who had generously donated $200 million to the Science Development Foundation? What was he doing at East University? Alex recalled what Emma had said at the science fundraising dinner. Over the years, Ethan Hughes had been abandoned by everyone, and only Derek had funded his research. He also thought about the adoring and respectful look Ethan Hughes had given Derek at the dinner party. Alex smelled an unusual scent. Could it be that Derek had also come to find Ethan Hughes? In an instant, Alex thought of the wax block engraved with the Genius Club's emblem, the right hand pointing straight at the sky, and the index finger that Derek had raised high when he took the lead in donating $100 million at the science fundraising dinner. It suddenly occurred to him that if Emma had received an invitation to the Genius Club, then Derek, who was far superior to her, must have received one long ago. Alex clenched the bound manuscripts in his hand and stared at the tall and imposing figure in front of the Maybach from a distance. Why did he only realize such an important thing now? If there was anyone in the entire EC city who was most qualified to join the Genius Club, it must be Derek. Derek coming to find Ethan Hughes at this time? Alex smelled a hint of danger. What on earth is his purpose?